Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about a book that genuinely changed how I think about risk, failure, and building a life that actually works. Nassim Taleb's Antifragile. Before we dive in, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that some people just fall apart the moment life hits them? One layoff, one breakup, one bad investment, and they're done. But then there are other people who seem to thrive in chaos. They get laid off and somehow land a better job within weeks. Their industry collapses, and they pivot into something even bigger. Same setback, completely different outcomes. You might think it comes down to resilience, or mindset, or just luck. But Taleb says none of those are the real answer. The real answer lies in a concept most people have never heard of: anti-fragility. Quick background. Taleb is a former Wall Street derivatives trader who made a fortune during the 2008 financial crisis, while everyone else was getting wiped out, because he'd built a strategy designed to profit from exactly that kind of chaos. And here's what most people get wrong about his book. They think it's about avoiding risk. It's the exact opposite. It's about learning how to benefit from disorder. Part 1. The third category. Nobody talks about. Most of us see the world in two categories: fragile, breaks easily, or strong, takes a beating. But Taleb says there's a third category we don't even have a word for. He had to invent one: anti-fragile. A wine glass is fragile. Knock it off the table, it shatters. It needs perfect stability. A rock is robust. Kick it off the table, nothing happens. But it doesn't gain anything from the stress either. Now think about the Hydra from Greek mythology. Cut off one head, two grow back. The more you attack it, the stronger it gets. That's anti-fragile. It doesn't just survive stress, it feeds on it. This isn't just mythology. Your muscles work this way. Lifting weights tears your muscle fibers on purpose, and your body rebuilds them stronger. Without that stress, they'd atrophy. Your immune system works the same way. A kid raised in a sterile bubble ends up dangerously vulnerable, while a kid who plays in the dirt builds powerful defenses through small exposures. In medicine, they call this hormesis. Small doses of stress trigger your body's repair mechanisms. Wine glass needs calm. Rock doesn't care. Hydra needs chaos. That's the core distinction. And Taleb gives a brilliant real-world example of this. Think about the restaurant industry. Most restaurants fail within 3 years. At the individual level, every single restaurant is incredibly fragile. But zoom out and look at the industry as a whole. It keeps getting better, more diverse, more innovative. Why? Because every failure is a lesson. Bad restaurants get weeded out, good ones survive and multiply. The system gets stronger through the fragility of its individual parts. Now compare that to banks. They look rock solid on the surface: marble lobbies, trillion-dollar balance sheets. But when the banking system fails, it doesn't fail locally. It fails globally. The 2008 crisis proved that. Restaurant failures are contained. Bank failures are contagious. Taleb's takeaway: a healthy system allows lots of small failures. A system that suppresses all failure is quietly building toward a catastrophic one. And most of modern life is doing exactly that, turning us into glass. Part 2. How we turned ourselves into glass. Think about your job. A steady paycheck feels safe, right? But Taleb argues that a salaried employee is often more fragile than a freelancer. Why? The employee depends on a single income source. One layoff, no warning, and everything drops to zero. A freelancer with 5 clients loses one and barely feels it. They deal with small uncertainty every day, which builds immunity to bigger shocks. Taleb calls this the volatility paradox. Suppressing all small fluctuations doesn't create stability. It sets you up for one catastrophic blow. Think about forest fires. Suppress every small fire, and dead wood piles up for years. When a fire finally breaks through, it's not manageable. It's an inferno. Small periodic burns are how forests stay healthy. Same with people. Kids who were overprotected, never allowed to fail, often collapse the hardest when real adversity finally hits. Meanwhile, people who faced some early struggles tend to handle setbacks better. Small doses of difficulty built their psychological immune system. Taleb's term for this: overprotection is a fragilizer. You weren't born fragile. You were trained to be. Part 3. The Barbell Strategy. So what do you actually do about it? Taleb's answer is the barbell strategy. Picture a barbell, heavy on both ends, nothing in the middle. That's how you should structure your resources. Not concentrated in the moderate middle, which looks safe but hides massive risk, but split between two extremes. One side ultra-conservative, the other ultra-aggressive. With money, put 90% in the safest possible places: cash, treasuries, money market funds. Then take 10% and put it into high-risk, high-reward bets. Your 90% is untouchable no matter what happens. Your 10%, if it hits, could return 50 times over. Downside capped, upside unlimited. Most people do the opposite. They park everything in medium-risk investments that feel stable but can blow up without warning. Neither safe enough nor rewarding enough. The worst of both worlds. The barbell works for your career too. Keep your day job. That's your safety net. Use your evenings to build something on the side: a channel, a business, a freelance skill. If it takes off, you've created a whole new path. If it doesn't, you've lost some free time and nothing else. You protect your floor while keeping the ceiling wide open. You can apply this to how you spend your time too. Taleb himself does this. He spends the vast majority of his hours on reading, thinking, and writing, high-certainty activities that compound over years. But he deliberately sets aside a small fraction for seemingly random exploration: reading books outside his field, pursuing unfamiliar ideas, having conversations he didn't plan. Most of the time, play it steady. Some of the time, get weird. Design your life the same way. Put most of your energy into fundamentals that reliably compound: your health, your core skills, your closest relationships. Then carve out a small slice for the unexpected: a trip you didn't plan, a skill you've never tried, a conversation with someone completely outside your world. You don't need to bet everything on a leap of faith. Just leave a window cracked so that luck has a way in. Part 4. 3 tools you can use. Today, beyond the barbell, here are 3 practical tools from the book. First, subtraction thinking. Knowing what to avoid matters more than knowing what to do. Your long-term wealth isn't determined by how many winners you pick. It's determined by how many catastrophic losses you dodge. One bad all-in bet can erase a decade of gains. Health works the same way. It's not about the supplements you take. It's about quitting the habits that are clearly destroying you. Stop shooting yourself in the foot, and you're already ahead of most people. Second, optionality thinking. Seek out asymmetric bets, situations where your downside is small but your upside is massive. A job interview costs you an afternoon. If it lands, it could reshape your career. Posting a video costs you a few hours. If it takes off, it could change your life. Stack your life with as many of these limited loss, unlimited gain options as possible. The more options you hold, the higher your chances of catching a lucky break. Third, stress inoculation. Deliberately expose yourself to small, controlled doses of discomfort. Share an unpopular opinion. Take on a project slightly above your skill level. Say yes to something unplanned. These small jolts work like a vaccine. They train you to handle real storms. The more you hide in your comfort zone, the more fragile you become. Every small dose of voluntary discomfort is a deposit into your future resilience. Part 5. Mediocristan versus Extremistan. One last mental upgrade. Taleb distinguishes between 2 types of worlds: mediocristan, where outliers don't move the needle, like height, where one tall person barely shifts the average, and extremistan, where a single outlier can dwarf everything else combined, like wealth, fame, or virality. Why does this matter? Because in mediocristan, you can plan around averages, but in extremistan, average thinking will get you crushed. Content creation is pure extremistan. You might post 100 videos that go nowhere, then one explodes and gets you more followers than the previous 100 combined. If you don't understand this, you'll quit after those quiet 100. But if you do, you'll realize the game isn't about steady output. It's about staying in long enough for the black swan to find you. Let's wrap it up. Taleb's Antifragile comes down to 5 ideas. 1. There's a third category beyond fragile and robust. Antifragile things get stronger from stress. 2. Modern life is systematically training us to be fragile. Overprotection breeds catastrophe. 3. The barbell strategy. Protect your downside ruthlessly. Expose your upside completely. 4. Subtraction, optionality, stress inoculation. 3 tools to build anti-fragility into daily life. 5. Know whether you're in mediocristan or extremistan, and don't bring the wrong playbook to the wrong game. The line that stuck with me most: you can't predict the future, but you can build yourself so that the unpredictable works in your favor. We spend so much energy trying to forecast what's next, trying to eliminate every trace of uncertainty from our lives. But Taleb's point is that the smart move isn't to kill uncertainty. It's to design your life so that uncertainty helps you instead of hurting you. Next time you face a choice, ask yourself, is this making me more like a wine glass or more like a hydra? Am I running from volatility or using it to get stronger? Are my resources parked in that deceptively comfortable middle ground or distributed across the extremes of safety and opportunity? Once you start thinking this way, you'll find that an unpredictable world isn't something to fear anymore, because you've turned yourself into the kind of person who gets stronger the more chaotic things get. If this video helped you think differently, hit like and subscribe. Tell me in the comments about a time a setback made you stronger. See you in the next one.